Former NFL quarterback Tim Tebow is a man on a mission, whether he's creating a worldwide movement celebrating people with special needs or planning the perfect engagement. For Tim, being mission-driven means using your ability and God's empowerment to serve others. Take a look.
Well known for his Christian faith and values, former NFL quarterback and professional baseball player Tim Tebow says, regardless of your talent or skill, God has a plan for your life.
God's not looking for perfect people, but I do believe he's looking for willing people. And I want to be willing, where I'm at, with what I have, to say yes to whatever the mission is that God has for me.
In his book, Mission Possible, Tim equips you to discover your God-given purpose so you can create a life that makes a difference for eternity.
Well, Tim Tebow joins us now versus Skype. And Tim, we welcome you back to the program. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thank you so much for having me. So grateful for you guys.
Well, let's talk about your book, Mission Possible. What does it mean to live a mission possible life?
Oh, it's such a good question, but I think before you can live a mission possible life, you got to know that there is a mission for you. And so I wanted to encourage people that there is a mission for your life, because when you know that there's a mission for your life, that God has given you a mission, then you know that you have purpose. But then to know that you actually can accomplish it, it means you have encouragement. And so I want people to know that there is a mission. They do have purpose, and I want to encourage them because that mission is possible, and possible means to be able. They are able to accomplish that mission. I don't think that people are just able to succeed at whatever they want, but I do think the mission that God has for them, he has equipped them and he's put them in a place to be able to accomplish it. And I believe every single one of us can truly have a life that counts, because as long as we have breath, we have purpose, and the God of this universe has created us all unique, all different, but all with a plan and with a purpose. And I believe it is a mission, and mission means a task or a job that we have been given to do. And I believe every single one of us, we've been given a task and a job, and we're able to accomplish it. And in this book, we not only talk about the principles of how to do that, but we also talk about the practical. It's one thing to know that, yes, I have a mission, but then let's talk about the practical, of the actual steps of how we go to starting living a mission-driven and mission-possible life.
So back up to the beginning of that concept. I agree with you on all of that, but I also meet people every day, Tim, who don't really know what the purpose for their life is, who feel a little lost, who feel a little envious, if you will, of people that seem to have found that mission. How do we find what God's mission for us is?
That's such a great question. I think in the macro, we all have the same. It's to love the Lord our God with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love our neighbor as ourselves. Who is the neighbor? Who is our neighbor? It's every single person we come in contact with. So in the macro, it is to love God. It is to make God known. It is to love our neighbor. And the best definition of love that I've ever heard is to choose the best interest of another person and act on their behalf. So every day in the macro, we get to love God and we get to love people. We get to choose their best interest. We get to act on their behalf. I believe we all have that same mission in the macro. But in the micro, I believe that we all have different, unique missions that are specific for us. See, I believe for me, when I was 15 years old, I met a boy in the jungles of the Philippines who was born with his feet on backwards. And because of that, he was viewed as cursed, as less than, as insignificant. And I believe that day, God opened my eyes to see him, to meet him, and he opened my heart to have compassion and want to do something. I really felt that day I was called to fight for boys and girls like him around the world, and that's something that we're still doing to this day, and I believe that's something I'll be doing till my last day here on earth. And so that is a specific mission for me. It's something that I call the micro for me, and I believe every single person in the macro, we have the same, but in the micro, what is God calling you to? And so many people ask me, Timmy, how do I know what my calling, what my mission is? And first of all, I'll say, I'm not exactly sure, but I'll say, has God ever opened your eyes to a person, to a need, to an injustice, to a nonprofit, to an organization, to a church, to someone that is hurting? And has he ever pricked your heart to want to do something about it? Has he ever pricked your heart to feel compassion for somebody? If so, what he's probably saying is, hey, I want you to go meet that need. I want you to go step out. I want you to go be a part of that. And then I think when we're a part of it, we learn more. Then I think we're a part of it, God does more in our heart and more in our life. And it's not necessarily that when we step into our mission, we know what the end goal is. We don't always know what the end destination is. But I think as we live out this mission every day of not just looking inward, but looking outward, of who I can help help, of who I can serve, of who I can love, of who I can care for, of who I can make a difference in. I think God continually refines us and grows us and shows us more and more of our mission. But I also think a big part of it is stepping out in faith when God opens our eyes and he pricks our heart for something, that we step into that, and then we continually learn more and more of what our mission truly is.
So what I hear you saying is that initial yes is the key. You just say yes to the first thing, and it begins the process. All that you're talking about, your friend from the Philippines that you met so many years ago, led to Night to Shine. I mean, that's an event that has celebrated over 100,000 people with special needs, and you're still committed to that. Talk about that.
Yes, ma'am. You know, and that's something that people see now, and it's so cool because God's opened so many doors and blessed it to be in 40 countries just a few weeks ago, and it's so cool that we get to celebrate people with special needs all around the world. But that started with just our president of the foundation coming to me and saying, hey, Timmy, for our 5-year anniversary, what do you think about having something, a night, you know, where we celebrate, you know, people with special needs, because we have such a heart for them at the foundation. And we knew 2 churches that were having something called Jesus Proms. And he said, what if we did something like that as a celebration of our 5-year anniversary? And I said, yeah, I love it. And he's like, okay, cool. Where do you want to do it? And I just felt on my heart that we need to do it everywhere. And so I said, I think we need to do it everywhere. And he's like, what are you talking about? No, we're not doing it everywhere. And I was like, yeah, I think we need to do it everywhere. And he's like, no. And he didn't like me for a few days, but we sat down and we came up with a manual, and we prayed about it, and we worked through it. And we were like, what do we even call this night? How do we talk about it? And so, but we just prayed about it. And we came up with the manual, and like, God, we believe this is part of our mission to love people with special needs. And that first year we had 43 locations in 26 states and 3 countries. Wow. And we were like, gosh, God, you're so big. This is awesome. And then, you know, the next year he's like, oh, no, you think that's what I was going to do. And the next year it was 201 locations, and then 370. And every year God just continued to grow it and bring more and more countries and more places. And it's just been so cool. But when we started that mission, we had no idea what God was going to do. There was no idea. Yes, sometimes people have a vision, but our vision didn't look like that. Our vision didn't know that it was going to change the narrative in so many countries. Our vision didn't know that he was going to do all these things of bringing denominations together and so many other things. Our vision was just, you know, we felt God prick our heart to say, you know what, like, we got to love these people, and we got to celebrate them, and we got to bring the world together to do it. And it just started small, but God continued to grow it and grow also in us the next step for it. And that was just something that's so cool. I'm so honored to just be a tiny part of.
Well, the one who says yes is trusted with more and more and more. And I know God is so pleased with what you and your wife and your organization are doing. I want to just mention, before we thank you for being with us, your book, Mission Impossible. And Tim is writing a brand new book. It's a children's book. And watch for that. It's called Bronco and Friends, Mission Impossible. It's going to be released later this month on March 29th. So great to have you with us. Thank you, Tim. And thank you for all you do. You inspire.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for what you guys do. God bless you guys. And it's such an honor every time I get to come on and share and be a part of this. So God bless you guys, and we're thankful for you.
Thank you.